My New Year's revolution is to knock out that big ugly bear, shake up the whole world in 1964, and talk no more.
Well, do you think it'll end in 2?
Well, you can bet your life it ain't going forward.
On February 25th, 1964, a fight occurred between the tough 31-year-old heavyweight world champion Sonny Liston and the young challenger Muhammad Ali. The fight ended under very controversial circumstances. A year later, there was a rematch in May, and that fight ended even more controversially as an absolute scandal. All boxing fans were shocked by what they saw, and there was an opinion that this was the end of boxing as a sport. Today, we will tell you what happened before, during, and after these fights, and why these fights are considered one of the most controversial fights in the history of boxing.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I want to trap you. I done told you what I'm going to do if you whoop me.
You want to trap me? I done trapped you. I got you to a contract. That's all the trapping I need.
Quit changing the subject, man.
You don't need to trap me. All you need to do is show up.
Their first fight was in 1964. Liston was the top heavyweight in the United States and consequently worldwide. He was the champion who had just knocked out the legendary Floyd Patterson twice. He was a man then thought impossible to beat. Huge, muscular, with a single knockout punch and a jaw of steel. The 31-year-old Liston had a record of 35 wins, just 1 loss, and 24 knockouts. But more importantly, he was in peak form. In the opposite corner was young boxer Cassius Clay. That was Ali's name at the time, loving the media attention and camera flashes.
I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
Cassius had only 19 fights at the time, 15 of which he won by knockout, the other 4 by decision of the judges. Clay was not considered unbeatable despite an Olympic gold medal in Rome in 1960 and a winless record, especially after the knockout of his last fight against Henry Cooper.
Clay comes out to meet Liston, and Liston starts to retreat. If Liston goes back in his father, he'll end up in the ringside seat.
Journalists did not like Clay's manner, and almost no one gave him a chance to win the championship fight. Journalists wrote, "The only contest in which Clay can beat Liston is reading the dictionary."
Talking about I talk too much and Liston's going to whoop me. Well, I want all of them to be there, and I'm going to shut up all of his mouth.
One regular contributor to the New York Times refused to cover the bout, attributing the difference in class to the boxers. 43 of the 46 reporters in the ring favored Liston for the win. Sonny Liston was the absolute favorite.
I'll knock him out in the second round. I can't be scared of death.
Liston will kill him. He'll kill him in the first round. It'll be Liston in 3 rounds. Liston in about 4.
The bear bashing.
I saw Sonny Liston a few days ago, Cash.
Ain't he ugly? He's too ugly to be the world champ. The world champ should be pretty like me.
Well, he told me to bet my life that you wouldn't go 3 rounds.
Well, if you want to lose your money, then bet on Sonny.
Many scandals began before the fight, in many ways, because of the eccentric behavior of Muhammad Ali. He was not shy in his expressions. During preparations for the fight, Clay hired a bus and drove in front of the gym where Liston was training, shouting, "Big Ugly Bear." But that was just the beginning. One day, Clay came to a hotel where Liston, in the company of the legendary Joe Louis, was playing in a casino and provoked a little scuffle. The pursuit didn't end there. Sometime later, Clay showed up outside Liston's house and shouted, "Hey, champ, are you in there with your wife or your whore? Does your wife even know you like to go to brothels? Come on out if you're not a coward." Sonny came out of the house, which was already a more severe scuffle. "Why are you doing this?" The champion didn't understand.
And he said, "You get out of my yard." And I said, "You big ugly bear, you. I'm going to see you tomorrow for the signing, and I'm going to knock you out in 8.
The show continued at the weigh-in before the fight. Cassius repeatedly said he was the real champion and couldn't be beaten. He kept repeating his motto, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." He laughed in Liston's face and yelled, "I'll eat you alive." When asked why he was acting so defiantly, Clay said, "Let him think I'm a fool," Clay said. He's not afraid of boxers, but he's afraid of fools. He won't know what to expect from me. Cassius wanted to piss Sonny off. In fact, and not unreasonably so, many doctors believed that the reason for this behavior was Clay's fear. His pulse rate showing an astonishing 110 beats per minute, which probably indicated that he was emotionally unstable and Cassius himself was scared to death. After the weigh-in, he was fined $2,500 for his behavior.
I don't think he can beat me running, but I do think that he's going to
Sonny Liston is popping off his mouth and making all of these way-out statements, and I'm going to put an end to it February 25th, and I don't have to convince nobody now that I am great. They all know it.
So the fight began. Clay's tactic worked. Liston came into the fight unsure of himself, and that insecurity grew stronger with every second of the fight.
Cassius Clay on the move as we see. Look, note that the champion, Liston, the aggressive man, a good heavy shot dug under the heart. Awkwardly fast. Good long left lead that might keep the champion a bit off balance.
Cassius began to circle Liston, evading his powerful attacks, underhandedly conducting his counterattacks. The third round saw a turning point in the bout, and Clay began to outplay the champion blatantly. After one of the challenger's unsuccessful combinations, Liston's legs became entangled, and he nearly fell over.
Sonny wobbled! Cassius has him hurt!
During the fourth round, Clay was still dominating. Still, in its end, one of the most controversial things in boxing history happened. Suddenly, Cassius began to have trouble seeing, and after the gong, he ran up to his corner saying, "I can't see, my eyes." It was clear that something had gotten into his eyes and was causing him pain. Later, Cassius' coach suggested that something was smeared on the gloves in Liston's corner. This substance got glue on the face and then into the eyes. One reporter claimed to have heard Liston utter the phrase, "Grease the gloves." Gradually, Clay's vision fully recovered, and he could continue the fight. In the sixth round, the challenger went on the attack. After a series of jabs, counterpunches, and uppercuts, Liston faltered, and two left side kicks almost sent him down at the end of the round. Then something happened that no one expected. Liston told his trainer, "That's it," and refused to come out of his corner.
They might be stopping it. That might be all, ladies and gentlemen. Get up there, Joe. Get up there. Get up in the ring.
Clay ran out to the center of the ring with his arms in the air and then walked up to the reporters who had predicted his defeat and started yelling, "I'm the king. I am the king. I am the king of the world. Eat your words." The reporters were shocked by the blatant behavior of the newly crowned champion.
I don't have a mark on my face, and I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, can't nobody be against me. I still got the world. I know God. I know the real God.
There were many controversies and controversial moments in this fight. A rematch was soon scheduled. Second fight. The first encounter left a pungent taste. Some argued that Liston, whose ties to the criminal world were known even then, had the advantage of losing. It was pointed out that Bear would make even more money on the rematch. In addition, there were rumors after the fight that several of Sonny's acquaintances were betting large sums of money on Ali. The investigation found no confirmation of these claims, but a shadow was cast over the result of the encounter. Almost immediately after his triumph, the new world champion officially confirmed his membership in the Nation of Islam organization and was named Muhammad Ali. American society met the boxer's decision negatively. There were rumors that Muslims from the Nation of Islam threatened Liston with reprisals if he defeated Ali, and those rumors were reinforced after the fight, as the course of the fight still seemed strange to many. With this in mind and Sonny Liston's controversial ties to crime, the new bout was taking place on a negative tone. The bell rang for the start of the fight. At the start of the first round, Liston attacked Muhammad with short left punches. Ali was able to catch the challenger and landed a right jab over his left hand. Liston collapsed on the ring floor. In a frenzy, Ali refused to go to a neutral corner. Leaning over Liston, he shouted, "Get up and fight, you bum. You're supposed to be so bad, nobody will believe this." The bewildered Liston, as if he had heard his principal opponent, tried to get up but fell again. At the same time, the referee tried to calm down the raging Ali. A real mess began in the ring. The referee gave the go-ahead for the resumption of the fight, but one of the journalists informed him that Liston could not get up for more than the prescribed 10 seconds because the meeting was suddenly stopped and the victory went to Muhammad. The ghost punch and the suspicion of a fixed fight. That knockdown is still controversial to this day. At that moment, a lot of people were sure that the fight was fixed. Among those who thought so were former world champions Jack Dempsey and Rocky Marciano. No one understood how Liston went down with one not-so-great punch, even though he had never been knocked out before in his career. There was an opinion that this was the end of boxing as a sport. Only 3 states out of 50 recognized Muhammad Ali as a champion. The first time, he said that he didn't understand why his opponent had fallen. Still then, after reviewing the fight a few times, he said that the punch was enough to send his opponent to the floor. Liston said that he did not get up quickly because he feared that Ali would go for the finish. Apart from that, again, there were conspiracy theories. Some claimed that mobsters had forced Sonny to lose the fight. Some said that Liston had received death threats from the Nation of Islam, and the organization was accused of threatening to steal his wife and son. Like the first time, rumors of betting on the fight again. Whether Sonny Liston fell on purpose or whether it was a contracted fight is still unknown.
I'm the greatest fighter that ever stepped foot in the ring, but I'm getting ready to participate in the biggest fight of all time. More money will be lost that night. This will be the biggest upset in the century of all boxing.
After his fights with Liston, Muhammad Ali got to the top of boxing, where he had been for more than 10 years. Liston had 16 more fights, of which he won 15. He died under mysterious circumstances in December 1970, 6 months after his last fight.